Hello everybody, I am Heather Feathering, and I have not made a video in far too long, but Tammy at ShrinkingVioletDS has tagged me in a 39 questions video, and it's not weight loss related, so I'm not going to even do my whole spiel, but I do plan on doing an actual weight loss plastic surgery video soon, maybe this weekend, we'll see. So 39 questions. I might not, as Tammy said, some of them, if they seem to be like data mining, security questions type questions, I probably won't answer them, but so far I'll just go through and see what I want to answer. But so question number one, what is my favorite scent? It really depends. I've worn the same perfume for a long time. If you're talking about that kind of scent, it's romance. On my husband, I like obsession. I feel like that makes me old. I don't know. I was looking for other colognes for him, and people are like, "Oh, that's such an old person cologne." I'm like, but I love it. I like different scents for lotions. There's not a scent I really hate. Not a, lotion, candle, whatever kind of scent I really hate. But number two, do you know a hoarder? My sister is close, maybe. I feel like she has a lot of stuff, but she's not really hoarder level, but it's a little more cluttered in her house than I feel comfortable with, and trust me, I'm comfortable with some clutter. But when I was a kid, there was a family that lived a few houses down who were true hoarders. They don't live there anymore, and I think the father died for sure, and I don't know. So right now, probably no. Can I do the splits? No. I don't think I've ever been able to do a split. I was overweight my whole life, and I have, well, honestly, I took ballet and stuff and could do sort of the half split, I guess, but nothing, not super flexible in general. When did you learn to ride a bike? I don't remember when I learned to ride a bike. It was definitely before second grade, because I know we moved when I was in second grade, and I know I didn't learn in the new neighborhood. It was definitely in the neighborhood we lived in before that. So I don't know. So second grade, so definitely 8 or before. What countries have you lived in? I've only ever lived in the United States, different states, but only the US. Do you have family members in the military? No. What's the worst grade you've gotten on a test? Honestly, okay. I got a 0 on a test once because the teacher thought I was cheating with somebody across the room who had a different version of the test. And I was very upset that my mother did not stick up for me. The other girl also got a 0, but she was able to, her mother stuck up for her or helped her get some extra credit so it would not sit on her grade. Still hated that woman forever. Not my mother, the teacher. Let's see. What was your favorite TV show as a child? I watched The Brady Bunch a lot. It wasn't new then, but I watched The Brady Bunch as a child, or at least I don't think it was new. I think it was probably on, some rerun channel. Let's see. Do you prefer American or British accent? American accents, different accents are fine, but really I prefer, my favorite accent is the Scots accent. My father is Scottish, and I really like that accent. Did your mom graduate high school? Yes. Are your grandparents still married? None of my grandparents are alive. In fact, both of my grandfathers died before I was born, but they were still married. at the time of their deaths. So they remained married their whole lives. Have you gone to karate lessons? I have never taken any sort of martial arts, but that is something that I'm interested in. And my husband really wants me to go and take the kids and learn to defend ourselves, I guess. But I think it would be something that's good for me. What was your first amusement park? Probably Carowinds. I live in North Carolina, and that is the closest one and the first one I remember going to. There aren't any super close here, but that's sort of over near Charlotte. Is your father bald? Yes, he is. He has been for a very long time. I've seen pictures of him from around the time I was born where he had hair, and that's weird because he's always at maximum had like sort of the side and back hair, but now he shaves it all off. Do you know any triplets? Actually, yes, my manager has triplet sons, or one of my relatively recent managers at work. Titanic or The Notebook? For rewatching Titanic, The Notebook, first time I watched The Notebook was on an airplane, and we were flying to France, and I cried my eyes out. It was ugly, ugly crying. So it really affects me, and I can't watch it again. I mean, I've watched it maybe once since then, but I can't. Have you ever had Indian food? Yes, I have cooked Indian food. My husband really loves it. I like it, but I can't deal with super spicy Indian food, and so sometimes we have a conflict there. I did have a bad experience once and got sick after eating Indian food, and so I don't often crave it anymore, but I do like it. What is your favorite restaurant? Like Tammy, I'd have to say that I don't like chain restaurants all that much. I have different favorites for different reasons. Like I have a favorite sushi restaurant, a favorite Asian type restaurant, like Thai, Laotian, kind of restaurants. If I had to pick a single favorite restaurant, would probably be Pool's Diner, but we don't get there very often right now because we have kids and it's not great for kids. We've taken them once, but they felt like it was an adult place and they didn't like it that much. And it really isn't, meant for kids, but my kids are old enough and quiet enough that we felt okay taking them once. But have you ever been to Olive Garden? Yeah. Can't believe there are many people who haven't. It's not my favorite, but I will go even now. I don't really like chains, but I'll go, and it is what it is, and it's fine. Do you belong to a warehouse store? Yeah, I go just about every week. Number 21, what would your parents have named you if you were the opposite gender? I don't know what they would have named me if I were a boy, honestly. I don't think I've ever been told, or if I have, I don't remember. But I do know that if my father had gotten his way, as I said, he's Scottish, my name would be Morag. I actually, given that I grew up in the United States all the time, I am very happy that my father did not get his way. And even though my name was one of the most popular names in the years around when I was born, I'd much rather be named Heather than Morag. For my childhood, it was hard enough being, an overweight kid. Having a really different name that nobody understood would have been one step too many. I'm not going to tell you nicknames. I don't really have any current nicknames that anybody used for me besides like my husband calls me honey or whatever. But who is your favorite person? I don't think I can choose. I have 2 kids, can't choose either one of them. I mean, I love my husband. He's not always my favorite person. I have a best friend. You know, it's just, I can't choose. Do you live in a rural area or the suburbs? I'm kind of just outside of the suburbs. You can probably see behind me, that's our backyard. There's actually a field that they plant. It doesn't belong to us, but there are crops planted there every year since we've lived here. But it's like 15 minutes to downtown Raleigh, which is the city that I live in a suburb of. So it doesn't really feel like it's rural, but it doesn't look like the suburbs. Can you whistle? Barely. My husband's very good at whistling, not so much me. Do you sleep with a nightlight? No. I tend to go to sleep with the TV on, but with a timer set to go off. My kids both sleep with nightlights, so. Medical conditions, I've said before on this channel that I have MS, and I guess you could consider my DS a medical condition. So those are my main ones. I have asthma, mostly allergy-induced asthma, but I haven't had problems with that in quite a while, thankfully, but I'm on a good allergy asthma regimen that I just have been taking for years and years and years, and I'm not gonna stop as long as it's working and the doctors are fine with me continuing. So yeah, I do take medication. Do you take medication on a daily basis? Yes. For the MS, for the asthma, for the allergies, plus all of the vitamins that I need for the DS. When was the last time you were in the hospital? In January, the plastic surgery I had was not in a hospital. It was at the plastic surgeon's office, but in November, was it November? October. In October last year, my tummy tuck and everything was done in a hospital. So that was the last time I was actually in the hospital. Let me figure out where I am. Oh, have you ever seen Finding Nemo? Yes. And Finding Dory. What was the last compliment you received? The last one I remember was my husband telling me I was awesome and great and was going to do very well on my interview. So, do you remember your dreams? Sometimes I do. The ones I remember generally happen on the weekends. I kind of wake up to go to the bathroom and then often can go back to sleep. So the times when I kind of wake up, go to the bathroom, and then I'm able to go back to sleep, I remember those dreams pretty often. But when I was pregnant, I had the wildest dreams, and they were always very vivid, and I remembered them. So my favorite flavor of tea, sweet. I don't really like tea. I like sweet iced tea. I'm in the South, you know. It took me a while to actually like real brewed sweet iced tea because my mother is not from the South. Even though we moved here when I was a child, I was like a year old, she always made tea from a mix, like kind of like Kool-Aid with the sugar already in it, except it was tea flavored. I don't know if they still make that stuff, but that's what we had as tea in my house, and it tastes entirely different than freshly brewed iced tea. So it took me a while to actually like that. I don't really do much hot tea. I do like Earl Grey with some milk and sugar occasionally, but I rarely drink hot tea. How many pairs of shoes do you own? Not as many as I used to. Still a lot, but I'm not as big of a shoe hoarder as I used to be. So I don't know exact numbers, but probably upwards of 10 at least. Whereas my husband is like a 3 or 4 pairs of shoes at a time kind of guy. that Santa was not real. I have to be a little bit quiet because my children are upstairs and I'm not sure they know. I was never told, and I'm not sure when I began to suspect. But in my family, that was just something you didn't talk about. Because if you told them that you didn't think he was real, there's no presents from Santa. Can you speak a second language? I do speak French. I got a minor in college. My French is very, very rusty at this point. I recently started following someone who's also had the same procedure that I've had, the same weight loss procedure that I've had, who is from France and speaks French. And I cannot follow every single word that she says, but I usually get the gist of what she's saying. I can probably speak simple sentences. I have a relatively decent accent, I've been told. But like I said, it's been so long that it's very rusty. Do you fart? Who doesn't? If you say you don't, you're a liar. Who's my best friend? My best friend is Denise, and she's been my best friend since high school. So that's awesome. And I've never been arrested. So I think that is it. So I look forward to talking to you guys again soon with an actual update and include pictures and all that kind of stuff for my DS surgery. All right, bye.